What is going on, you guys? It is your girl Ness, and of course we are back with another video. So I know the scenery does look different because I am usually in my bedroom when I am recording, but this time we are in the car because we're headed home for one night. And while I'm on the road, I just said, well, I guess I'll just talk to you guys for a few minutes. So what exactly are we going to talk about today? You want to know? Let me tell you. So, we are going to talk about is you is or is you ain't my baby.
Is you is or is you ain't my baby?
I don't know exactly how I'm going to title that, but in a nutshell, that is exactly what we are going to be talking about. So basically just saying, you know, you're dating somebody, you all have been dating consistently for, you know, some time, maybe, you know, 2 months, 3 months, or a little bit more, and you want to be able to have a clear direction of exactly where this thing is headed, what this person's intentions are, and if you can stand to even be in a relationship with that person. But I will say this: if you know that that person has been inconsistent, if each time that you try to have a conversation with them in regards to the direction of, you know, whatever you all's dating relationship might be, and their answer is very vague, then they could potentially be, you know, putting it off or using you to their convenience or advantage, or they're not fully ready to accept the responsibilities that come along with being in a monogamous relationship. So why exactly would somebody not want to have to accept the responsibilities that come with being in a monogamous relationship? So in my, you know, personal opinion, like I said, they don't want the responsibility. Two, they could have options, and you could be one of those options. Maybe not. That's not always the case. But that could be a contributing factor to them not wanting to, you know, commit to being in a monogamous relationship where, you know, it's just solely you and it is solely them. Another thing is because they're probably just not ready. And if somebody is not ready, do not force them to be ready, because then in that relationship you all will end up resenting each other. You will have expectations that are definitely going to lead to disappointment because that person is not fulfilling the expectations that you think that they should be fulfilling. So if they are showing signs that they are not ready, if you have had conversations with them and they have stated that they are not ready, then do not push it any further. And if you know that you want to be in a relationship and that person is not, you know, I guess speaking your love language, or you see that things are not going in the direction of a relationship, then I would think that it is best for you to kind of, like, you know, let this situation kind of die on out, because the last thing you will want to do is have yourself hurt because you're wanting a relationship and that person is not willing to give you that relationship. Another thing that I will say too is don't even rush being in a relationship, because if you want to be in one, and if you're going to be in one, you want it to be a relationship that is a two-way street. You don't want to be in anything that is one-sided, because like I think I said in a previous video, if it starts off that way, that is how it is going to end up. You're going to be the one putting in most of the effort. You'll be the one initiating most of the conversations. You know, you'll be the one trying to, you know, what we're going to do today, what we're going to eat. You don't want everything to end up being at your responsibility, and then things are being done at that person's convenience and they're not doing things even considering you. So you don't want to end up being in something that is one-sided, because eventually that is going to become exhausting. You are going to end up resenting that person. You are going to be unhappy, and you are definitely going to be regretful. So if they are not ready, if they have said that they are not ready, if they have showed signs that they are not ready, then baby girl, baby boy, please leave them alone. You don't want nobody that's not ready to be with you, that could possibly be immature, that could possibly not be financially stable. and be in a position where they can, support you financially, you support them financially. Because this is my thing, when you're trying to be in a relationship with somebody, of course the goal is eventually marriage. So you don't want to be with anybody that cannot financially sustain having a family, or maintaining a marriage. Now, finances is not the end all or be all to be in a relationship, but I feel like the number one thing is definitely communication. So I feel like communication, is what bridges the gap between everything. And then you also don't want to just be with somebody solely off of their physical appearance. I think it was the rapper Nas that said, and if I can find that tweet that he posted, I will definitely add it somewhere in this video. But he said that love is more about chemistry than it is biology. So what exactly does he mean by that? Meaning that the way that you and a person connect, the way that you all can communicate, the way that you all vibe is much better than it being based off of what he or she might look like or what they may not look like. So of course you want to be able to be physically attracted to somebody, but don't let that be the main decision making factor on you knowing if you're going to be with somebody or not. Because like I always say, you always want to be able to be mentally connected to somebody, and I feel like it's better to be mentally stimulated than it is to be physically stimulated. And I say that because I know for women it doesn't take much to get us it takes more to get us going than it does to get men going, because you have to well, for most women, I can't speak for all, but you have to be able to mentally reach us first. So yeah, that. Another thing that I wanted to add on the communication side is, after you all have dated consistently for 3 months and you want to know, are we considering, being together? Do you feel as if we have seen enough of each other to decide if we want to be together? Then you have to be able to communicate that, and communicate that without being afraid to talk about it. And I know that is easier said than done, because we have all been in situations, and I know that I, for one, have been in situations where I did not always feel comfortable when it came to, talking to somebody about my feelings or trying to discover or see where exactly things are headed. I think that it's more than fair to be able to have that conversation with somebody, especially after you all have been involved with each other for some time. I feel like that it is more than right and fair to have that conversation, because that lets you know whether you need to leave or stay, and that lets you know whether your time is being wasted or not. And then you will definitely have a clue and an idea of where exactly things are going. And then you would also be able to get that other person's perspective and how they feel about the situation, and if they feel as if they can be in a relationship with you or not. And if you all feel like you have not, don't be afraid to say, well, do we need to continue to talk in the way that we have to try to see if things are going to go somewhere? Do we need to kind of keep it at like friendship level, or do we need to just cut ties altogether? Because I know sometimes it is hard trying to be friends with somebody that you like and somebody that you want to be able to be in a relationship with. So I can definitely understand you wanting to just leave that person alone altogether. But I think that if you all still want to communicate and date a little longer, then it will be fair for you and the other person to just simply say, hey, I'm not against us being in a relationship. However, I would like for us to date a little bit longer to see where each of our heads are at, to see if we are compatible in other areas, because that gives you a general idea. Because like I said, you don't want to end up being with somebody, 2 or 3 years, and then later on down the road, it's all thrown in the trash, because you could have definitely used that time to work on yourself, to perfect a craft that you might have, to meet somebody, to even meet somebody else, or whatever you feel like you could have been doing with that time that you have wasted being with somebody. So don't be afraid to communicate how you're feeling. Hey, if somebody feel like you're nagging, F them, you know what I mean? Still, say what you have to say. Don't be afraid to say what you have to say, because nobody knows how you're feeling better than you do. So when it comes to talking about how you feel about something, when it comes to wanting to know, something about something, do not be afraid to open your mouth and talk. Please, do not. I done it. It was a mistake, and there were a lot of situations where I feel like I probably should have said something earlier. So it's better to say something now and in the moment where you feel like you can, especially if you all are in an environment where it is appropriate to have a conversation about those things. Then by all means, say something. Do not hold it in. All right, y'all. So another thing that I did want to say, y'all, the sun is it is shining bright, honey. And I need to put my shades on, child. Because it's gonna but I had to sit on this road. But anyways, I was going to say, if you all have ever paid attention to Steve Harvey's movie, what is it? Think Like a Lady, Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Man. So, in each of his books, he categorizes so many different things. But the one that stood out to me the most, of course, was the 90-day rule. And we know that the 90-day rule was a rule that was made for women in efforts to protect our feelings, to keep the cookie in the jar, and to reward the person who has put in most of the effort and the work, and you all have collaboratively decided that you all are going to be in a relationship together. So, I wanted to say this. A lot of the time as women, we make the mistake of giving somebody the reward before they have done any work. That is mostly the problem as to why we date somebody for so long, or you deal with them for so long, and you end up not being the person that they choose to be in a relationship with. And that is because you have not made them put forth any effort. So they don't see you, as something or someone that is valuable. They see that they got it easy. So of course, nobody wants anything that they did not have to, work hard to get. Anything that somebody has put so much money into, so much effort into, so much time into, they're not going to give that up too easy. So in order to protect yourself and your feelings, do not reward somebody who has not put in the work. I hate to say it, but to some degree you kind of have to see guys as kids, because they like to be rewarded. They like to be giving praise. They like to be giving 2 gold stars, for doing good. Not even just giving them the cookie, because your presence is a present within itself. So don't be afraid to let nobody know that. You really should be happy that you got a chance to be around me, because everybody does not get the chance or the opportunity to be around me. So be happy, act right. You get 2 gold stars. So a lot of people joked and felt type of way. I was looking crazy, about stuff that Steve Harvey had to say, and because of the type of person that he was. But this is what I will give and say about Steve Harvey, is the fact that he is not ashamed to admit or to talk about his screw-ups in the past. How could he not address that without addressing how much he has grown as and accomplished as being a man? He has no problem with identifying the mistakes that he has made, and he has worked towards, correcting those problems and making sure that he does not do the things that he has done in the past. So, if there were more guys that would do that, I think that we would have a lot more better results when it comes to dating. And then the other issue I feel like is transparency. Nobody likes to be upfront and honest from the jump. That too saves you your time. your energy and all your little effort, you know, for going hard, you know, with somebody, you know, before you exactly know where things are headed. So I think it is fair to ask, you know, what exactly are your intentions? A lot of guys and women as well do not like to be transparent because they try to have their cake and eat it too. And they know that if they tell you the truth about what their intentions are, that they risk the chance of you leaving and you not being a person that they are trying to add to the team. But at the end of the day, I would like to say for you to open your pretty brown eyes, and even if they are not being transparent with you, be able to notice and discern the things that this person is doing and the things that they are saying, or the things that they are not doing and the things that they are not saying, in order for you to know, okay, I'm playing games, so let me act accordingly and, you know, pull my little self back up out of the way, because we don't got time to be playing games. Even though we know how to play games too, who has time for that these days? That is too exhausting. That is too much work. And at a certain age, it's kind of like, you know what? Boy, bye. Just leave me be. Leave me be. All right, you guys. So that is all that I have to say about that topic. Otherwise, I would probably be talking to you guys the entire way home. And I do not want to bore you guys or talk you guys to death, but I do hope that I provided enough information, enough perspective for, you know, you all to kind of get what you needed to get from this, for you all to be able to relate to this in ways that you need to relate to it too, in order to, you know, relay this information to somebody that you may feel like needed, or to even take it in for yourself. Because one thing we do know is that experience is a teacher. Whether it's not our own personal experience, we can learn from those experiences that others have had and are willing to share. So, you know, you never know what you share or what you might be talking about, you know, could be a blessing or could be a way for somebody else to open their eyes, or for them to be able to notice the things that are going on around them. Anyways, like, share, comment, and do not forget, subscribe, hit the bell notification so you are notified whenever I do upload and post a video. Do, you know, say your concerns, your thoughts on this, whether you agree or disagree, you know, any more questions or any other topics that you feel like you would like for me to elaborate on, drop it in the comment section. Also, email me. My email address will be in the comment box. In the description box. So, yeah. Until next time, it has been real, and I will see you guys in the next one.